I love me a drone show, but I'm going to change. Oh. Okay, so I'm live, which is good. So I'm very grateful. I just need to lower that down a little bit. It's another little gem from freelancestack.io. So Bruno, shout out. U.com is enterprise grade AI, and it's quite basic in terms of what it can do for you. It's a way to chat. So imagine a ChatGPT style service, however, 20 plus models. And as far as I can see, you know, I'm sure you'll be limited to sort of the levels of usage, which are good. I have got another microphone that I'm going to use at the moment. I'm consolidating a number of things because I'm preparing to start doing some more professional style recording and presence overall. I'm using my laptop. I'm in a new location because I just need something fresh in light of all the, you know, shite that I'm dealing with on the day to day. Now, I've just asked ChatGPT says it's safe, but we all know it's a high level attack. Let's do a quick see. Oops. So craft I get with setup, I absolutely love. It's a bit like it's like a mark. It's the cross between Notion, Pages, obviously Word, Publisher almost, because you can do some pretty nice documents in it, and I get that included with my craft with my setup membership. Hold on. Let's just check this. Only because I'm not seeing them. Yeah, that's okay. It's a bit annoying in terms of me being able to check whether I'm still live. So yeah, so u.com. Let's reopen that. It's often because, well, it seems that all my setup apps are corrupted, which is of little surprise to me. Surprise, as Scylla would say. So let's just re-download that, only because it's good for processing markdown content. It's really good at that. And obviously a lot of the content that you generate in AI models is, well, it's in markdown or just plain text, although they can make documents using extensions and things. The actual text is in markdown format, which is why you paste it into certain web console document tools, it will look completely different. My auntie reminded me this was on.
It's the birthday of a very, very special individual. At this time, I would ask that you would stand
Now, the birth of a king is like some of the things that have been misunderstood about me is my appreciation for music. I can appreciate dance, trance, rock, good vocals, R&B, pop. I'm quite eclectic, and I think that's sort of been misunderstood. I love that's a long story. I'm not going to go into that on this. But this is a Christmas concert, which obviously I got into at Christmas, of Christmas carols, but by this guy called Tommy Prophet, who does like modern interpretations and rock, and it's just the vocals, the layers. It's brilliant, and naturally having a connection to God. Although I don't worship Jesus, I'm aware of the overall purpose of him rather than worshipping him. The actual carols are just incredible. Let's get rid of that. So yeah, so u.com, a bit like ChatGPT, it's web-based. It's got agents, which I'm going to give a little nifty try for now, for something I'm working on. See how capable it is, if capable at all. This is all in Markdown, so I need to just review it. So I'd highly recommend that anyone that's using ChatGPT employs the memory function as much as you can. It's not coming out. And there's something, there's a lot to be said about being able to structure your prompts correctly when you're using ChatGPT or any AI service. But I use the memory function. In fact, it said it was full, and I hope that's a fucking. I'm sweary today. I'm really sweary today, but in like a good way. But I'm swearing. So what this is here for Census and Vista, which is obviously a concept of mine for a knowledgeable and utopian-like society, or at least a framework for how to deliver AI services. I'm obviously well aware I can't do everything on my own, and B, well aware that there are things like I can't sign off on. So in terms of if we're to look at how I'm structuring this in order to be strategic, there is the obvious layers, and I'm quite layered as a person, but there's lots of layers to how this would be delivered. But essentially, the talent network is like-minded individuals who want to deliver the same thing, but also have the technical or their knowledgeable capacity in order to do it. It's really important for me that AI isn't used to replace people. The thing is, for me, is because I've got a big vision, AI is absolutely intrinsically linked to me being able to do that. It is, the team that I don't have. But I'm also very aware the team's got to be right. And how a team is factored in starts as something small, as a community, and then progresses to formal employees when the time's right. So in terms of strategy, looking at it at a base level, it's individuals or organizations that have found and sourced or have approached that are able to deliver components of consultancy work that I'll be doing. So there's stuff that I won't be able to do. I'll certainly be able to advise on, but I won't be able to deliver it firsthand. I'm very much aware that anything I produce would have to be completely signed off in terms of a security principle if it's an end product, and I've got lots of talents, and a lot of them are conceptualization of ideas, and I'm able to actually formalize the conceptualization with actual content foundation, structure, linkage, relationships, dependencies, how things are enacted, but then sometimes it's just actually delivering that last piece. So the talent network, I'll be able to go to consultant clients on things that I can't deliver. There's plenty I can, and that's why I'm working on the basis that start small and work big. and move big, but in that small sort of initial line of work where it's going to be not more casual, because I won't approach it like that, but not at the level of the things that I want to be delivering. And I've got to look at it that way because I'm starting from zilch, I'm starting from zero, I'm starting from zero experience, I'm starting from zero funds, I'm starting from zero relationships, I'm starting from zero colleague or co-partners, and that is beautiful. I'm not moaning about that, but what it means is I've got to be creative in the way that I build up to the things that I want to deliver, which are things that are meaningful, which are purposeful, and which are an improvement to both businesses on a local and on a macro scale, but also society. So things like My Bloom, I want it to be available free. I want it to be grounded in theory, evaluation, and performance for the end user, and for it to be although I realize that it won't be delivered as a health product, rather a lifestyle product initially, to circumvent some of the regulatory and also the basis for how it's adopted by people. I don't want to be recommending things will improve you on a sort of peer-reviewed basis. You know what I mean? So My Bloom is obviously a journaling tool that significantly improves mental health through a really unique way of interpreting entries and encouragement, and it ties in wearables. And the concept is, anyway, amongst other things, so there's a big grand scale picture, which is 15 years. So I'm not looking at ever at the immediate. I'm looking at, I know what the end goal is. I know what I want to be delivering. I know what I want to be influencing, and I want to be bringing at least a discussion around. However, I realize in, true fashion that's not something I'm able to deliver immediately, to be realistic. So the talent network would be like-minded individuals, and on a consultancy basis, they can be brought in to help me deliver components of a consultancy framework that's been developed, a conceptualization that I'm working for a organization, or it can be, people that deliver part of a project and they're not recommended, they're actually embedded within the end result. And on a wider basis, move that out, because there's things that I want to achieve with Liberty Rise. So Liberty Rise is really, really important for me. And it's so funny that Jeremy Corbyn's labelled his party Your Party, because I had a massive concept for something called the Your Survey, which is to get the representation of everyone, because the way our electoral system works, we're not represented fairly. And it's also about hearing people's voice, not the vote. Long story. Anyway, it's just a side note. So what I'm doing here is obviously ChatGPT understands my everything. Not that I've got this psychosis, because nothing like that. I use it to get something, then I go out and branch. But it's the memory, it's the fact that it remembers the things I've said and is able to feed them back to me. It's not that it's instructing me on how to do things. So this is what I need on the out. Where's my deliverables? It's just... So I'm just going to try an agent here to help me create each role. So for this agent, what I'm doing is I'm giving it some context, which is my domain. Let's see. After all of that surgery, you were so ugly. That's what gets me. Let's just get some more context. So context is everything. Context is everything. It's not that. Where is? Let's just do a quick little doc. A couple of docs. Dicks. I'm just going to give it a bulk of context. Just for the music in this is like it's so layered. That's not where I want it. Oh, I'll tell you what, that would help, wouldn't it? I thought I'd made the profiles. It's just yeah, so this is going to be on. Let us adore him, Christ the Lord. So this is Arc browser, naturally, because let's just make sure we're logged in properly. Let me see which one this is. Investor? See, that's streaming on that, so realistically it should be. I've got different, this is obviously the work account. King of Heaven, Emmanuel. Let's just pause. Just pause that. We adore you, Jesus. Oops. Oh, the King of Heaven, oh, Emmanuel. Hey up, Duck. That wasn't too bad. You got in. He says. So this is definitely this one. I'll tell you what, it doesn't matter. Right. So context is everything in AI. I want to see. The King of Heaven. This is the folder that was meant to be. Make sure we save it in the right place. It's here. Let's just rename that. That is a helpful suggestion, but why can't I rename it? It's never easy, is it? That's one. That's Census and Opus. Now, naturally, there's been some generation by AI. But only after extensive organization. So by giving it context, that AI, and obviously everyone will have heard about hallucinations. I've spoken about this before. One second, this happens every time. Hello? Sorry, mate. Every single time. Last time it was, yeah. Right, so. Okay, let's do this. These are my frameworks for appropriate AI, so ethical, effective, and equitable. What have we got down here? Where's that? Just get that to edit for OpusAI. Oh, he is born, the Son of God has come to dwell in the kings and love. We sing well. No, he is born. We are live. to save the world. Sorry, I'm just checking my mic. For me. But as you can see, because I've pasted the local in HTML codes, because I've used something else, or I've taken it from the website when I've edited it on the website, it's taken it in the HTML, and I changed it from the above. It's my concept and not the auto. Just we sing away. No. So it's really important for me. It's really important for me, even at an early stage, to ensure that probably take away stuff from upstairs. It's amazing how intrinsically linked these services are. It's scary. Gloria in excelsis Deo, Gloria in excelsis Deo. So what we can do, I've got a different mouse which is annoying because I'm used to having these shortcuts. Let's add some context. I can't leave that open because I need something else from it. It's almost like I get interrupted just when I'm logged in on something. It's so annoying. Linkage. So I know it looks like I'm not actually doing much with that text, because I'm not. It's because it's already rewritten. I'm just going to be adding it as context in a minute. You know, the great thing about conceptualization is it's exactly that. You are conceptualizing. It's when your information stuff. Oh. Symphony of angels protecting me. Gloria. Some stuff on here which I don't necessarily want it to be seen. there's some stuff on that you can't necessarily see. So, going back, as part of obviously some of the initiatives, they include deliverables for users and customers, and those can be of various styles, of various forms. But there's also the other stuff, which is legal-based input, people with expertise, because I love this guy. The end result is, being able to influence in a positive way, and certainly would soon live by you. Certainly, there's things that I personally would like to improve for myself, myself and others, and it's certainly something that has been, is a non-negotiable. I don't know if I'm going to be able to include these. Oh God! Did we go into that folder? Oh. And the time for you again. These are workings for trying to keep things a little bit organized based on. I wonder what happens if I upload one of these. I would always say it wouldn't work, but I'm supported to. Let's get the docs. Arc's a nice browser, mate, and on your phone, Arc's really good. If you can't afford Perplexity, Arc's really good. But I did just see something today about if you've got a PayPal account, which I don't think I have. I don't think I have got a PayPal account. But you know that you. I keep going to the wrong file menu. I mean, I'd never necessarily choose Google Docs, apart from the fact that I wanted a secure place to work from, and it came with Gemini. Although I've still got beef with Gemini, it's anything agentic, and I'm talking basic agentic. Just asking it to create a file is fucked. If we compare it to, say, even stuff that you can create in. I should have that one already. You can create in. I can't think. I know what I'm talking about. I can't think of the platform. There we go. Didn't add my domain, which is fine. So I thought about community and getting people together, and it's informal, so it's like casual and almost having people on the books so that you can say, okay, look, this component for this project can be delivered by X, and it's not just the fact that I can do things. I can pick up anything. Give me a piece of software and I can use it without even ever using it before. In weird ways, I'm quite top level, exec level in the way I work, ironically. And wait for them to embed. So yeah, quite like top exec level the way I work. I don't want to do it sounds, and it's not a laziness or it's not a and that's something I think I've certainly dealt with internally. It's more that my brain works differently and it works better in other ways, but it's almost like a seek and destroy missile. I'll find the target, I'll put the components together, I'll instruct someone how to do things. I remember coming out of a meeting with a lawyer where I was like, right, okay, this is exactly what you need to do. You need to have it structured like this, you need it written like this, you need to include these, clauses. This is the way that we're going to do it. We're doing it differently because of this, and then this is how I want to deliver it. And I think I know he was a bit like awestricken. But so was the person I was working with. He walked down and he was like, fuck it, hell, you ran rings around him. Which can be something you do. Not that I've seen any benefit. Right, let's have a look. I don't know if I've had that one. Anyway. Where's this system here, mate? Oh, that's what I was doing. That's why I downloaded Craft to check this. So the great thing about AI is if it knows, and it's got the word context again, if you give it very specific information, a style of speaking, very top level concepts, it works with you to build them out. And then obviously ChatGPT has got a great memory framework, although I think there's room for improvement, but there always is, isn't there? It's just the outputs. This one's my favorite. Oh, so it's casual in that it's community based. It can be called upon, or people can apply, but they'd be vetted in terms of how they align to the overall aims and objectives because of the snakes in the grass everywhere you go. I fucking love this. Sweary stay. It happens. So yeah, so it's like a neurodivergence things. There's things that I'm specialisms. Why is that? Yeah, because we're not here. Sorry about that. Peace on the earth, good. Let's see. I hate Elon Musk, but our King has come. Why did that not catch it from there? I hate that. So I do it in here. I always use that many different pieces of software. And I can be detail oriented 100%. I can be really detailed orientated when it calls for it. I hear the angels sing. Oh. Me too. Oh no, I think I've just entered the wrong document in there. Why did that not save? The context will go on there from my room, really, but not really. Now this is more. It says agents. It's not agents. It's assistants. There's a difference. It's not going to be able to do the things I think it's going to be able to do. But we'll have a look. Now, let's go to. That should be context, really. In fact, that should all be clear. Yeah, so an agent is where it can go and do things for you. An assistant is something trained on knowledge about access to the web, and that's what this is. So they're being a bit rich calling it an agent, but we'll see. Interesting to see how it uses the data and also how much of a good vector store we're looking at for the retrieval. There was something I wanted to do on this. I was going to say it's not. God, that's quick. So it is looking at 36 sources there, but it's finding information which none, unless it's just looking for reference in terms of what. I was trying to work out which model I was going to use for the agentic features of that. So huh? It's not this one. It's not. I've got one of these ones with. It's not that one. Oh, so what model? Do you know what is so annoying? Is the fact I know it looks like I'm zipping round, and I am zipping round, but the passwords get reset for everything. So we're not even going to log in. Sleep. See why? That is absolutely not the wrong password. Unless that might be right. The rain it cometh. Click on the animals that could live in the shelter shown. I swear these get madder and madder. Furious. So the reason I'm using a Hugging Face inference for this is because I can switch about the models fairly easily. What was this one I choose? I won't do the full thing. I don't want to change that because I need to do. There we go. Why can't I? This is agentic. This is proper agent. See what I'll just do. I have put that in. No, absolutely not. Let's have a little check. See. Not sure that's right. Not sure that's right. It's not pulling in any. This is Christ the Lord. Oh. Intrinsically. I think that was right. Intrinsically. Christ, I can't. There you go. Intrinsically. Holy night. Oh, fuck, I missed that. No. Here's our brother. Saddens me that phrase that the slave is our brother. I know it's completely right, but imagine even thinking that. I think a lot of it looks like this. There's quite a wide net, and there is quite a wide net. But I am looking at the strategy of doing it over time, and not necessarily quick sticks. And that's the goal. So this is an agentic platform, and it is agentic. But what I'm struggling with, there's some configuration to do, and that's weird that it won't do that. It's not on a billing. Oh, it's a lie. It's because it was sleeping. Was it sleeping? I need to potentially switch off. What's this name? But sooner. So this is a back end. I'm just trying it. It's open source, so I've got a self-hosted instance, and this is agentic. I don't want to trial. I don't want to trial. Where's my version that I was on? Where's the what I was on? I've got it on one. I've got it already because I did a task on it the other day. It's not this one. Wow, which one have I done it on? It's not this one. Maybe it's Git. So it's not this one because I'm authorized now. I've used it and it's really good. How annoying! Have I got it in here? I've lost it. I've lost it in between. I lost my Google Chrome. What's it? Secure like sync base, because when I realized that my account had been accessed by so many other, well, just at least just being on another computer was enough for me to lose the sync and lose the passwords that were in the secure by a passkey. So that's where it does it between devices and encrypt it in an encrypted way. See that? I've tried to reset the password and the link's expired. Every time I try and log in on anything, it has to do it twice. So it's like I was sat having a coffee in town after I'd meditated, and it was I was logging in on the Google account, this one actually, and the screen would load but then immediately refresh, and I know what that is. I know what it is, and it's unusual behavior. And what it is it's behavior that it allows my login to go elsewhere. I actually was given a code for this u.com, which I'm trialing now, and they're generated and they're very specific and unique, and it had been used. So I had to request another one, and there's a person called Bruno, and he didn't say anything, but I could tell by his message that perhaps he was like, well, you've already had one, and it's a 12-month subscription worth $240. So it's not great, is it? Same with anything banking, anything that requires a login. It's like a scramble, not my end. And I can feel the energy that's attached to it. It's just a bit wild to me. And also what I'm starting to realize is, I mean, proximity is something. So it means they've got to be in an environment close to you. But it seems to be less about proximity and just the devices. Just every single one of them's fucked. So if I do benchmarks, they are far depreciated from from a model of the similar age, the exact same specification. They're far depreciated by about 30 to 40%. The network, I'm in between two routers now. I've got two routers running. I'm not confident using the one that was sent to me because they were unsealed. The postman is in on it. These sound paranoid and they can be labeled however you want. However, when, duplicate post, constant ringing, you're not getting the letters. Well, I am getting the letters, but they're not being sent to the address that you think the postman's able to get them from. And that's why 2 letters are being sent out. Letters from Merseyco with my NHS number exposed on the front. That poses a risk. There was a time when I called for mental health care. Now, not only did I speak to someone who I've had issues with in this most recent bout, but, downplaying the impact of someone's behavior, or almost like a disregard. Now, the 2 clinicians that are the main issues to this person in front of them, I spoke very openly about how poor they had been in their care. And those were the 2 people that were assigned care this time round. And I remember the first appointment that I went to with the drug and alcohol services, and I was on a session on my own with him, and it was a presumption of me being some sort of crack dealer for a start, but equally that we were talking about losing things. So it's like, what would you lose? What do you lose? It's like a TBT thing. What types of things do you lose when you're an addict? And he kept going, your freedom, you lose, you don't, you get arrested, and putting these things on me. And I was like, what the no, because that's not why I'm in here. I'm talking about the impact it's had on my life. And there was an appointment, I think it was the 2nd or 3rd, with my key worker, who I'd had a long time ago, and I actually had no issue with her. She was the one that seemed to know a lot about me using the toilet and using a cubicle, and that stems back from being a gay young adult, and a more young boy, and more than once being told that I couldn't use the urinals, with slurs and stuff like that because of the fact that I was gay, and I couldn't use the toilets. I should be in the girls' toilet. So there's a lot that goes into me using a cubicle. And not only the time that I know that they were observing me from work, I was incredibly stressed and also often suffering withdrawals. The 2nd or 3rd time, there were 2 people in the waiting room. They saw me and started talking about Preston quite loudly and looking at me, but I had my sunglasses on, and it's sort of like I could see them. And one of them used to be a bouncer used to be a bouncer on one of the bars I used to go to a lot. He had been communicating with me on an adult website, put it that way, a seeking arrangement type of thing, where it's not anything more than perhaps the hookup, and that's something that's very prevalent in gay culture. I've noticed, and I've worked so hard on the fact that there's hypersexualization when you've been abused, and all these other things, and I've worked really, really hard on that. And I wasn't. Everything was completely, legal and very private. Did not know that obviously there was a group that were positioning people to be in those scenarios with me, which is a form of trafficking. I don't care what anyone says, and the list is big. It's not big list. It makes me sound terrible, but there were certainly individuals that I was engaging with or had engaged with, and completely safe and private and adult, and as my motto is, as long as you're not hurting anyone. And something that's very important for me as well is I'm so comfortable with people. I'm so happy to to help people, explore things which have been difficult to come to terms with, because as a society, I understand that, and I respect people's privacy, and that was used against me. Anyway, and so they were in the waiting room beforehand, and they had lots of AV equipment. So now I know that type of stuff because I deal with it I was dealing with it in my old employment. And that appointment, Mandy had an earpiece in. She swore blind. She didn't. Her hair was completely different. The only time her hair has been different, she 100% had an earpiece in with that appointment. The guy with the AV equipment, who had been communicating with me, I'd searched him, asked my mate, what was his name? And it wasn't about that. It was just because I'd seen him that day. And it only from looking, just to make sure it was the right guy, because we used to fancy him. We used to say, oh my God, I'm not going to say his name. He's so hot. And we used to have like banter with him and stuff. This is when we were 18. But for him to have all the AV equipment, them to look at me, start talking about Preston, this guy was looking at me who was like with him, and I was early to my appointment. Mandy to be totally different in this appointment, certainly prompting, probing inappropriately, not inappropriately because she was always appropriate with me, but, on reflection, it's so clear what the purpose of that conversation was. And actually, when it reached a point where it felt like perhaps, I wasn't, so this is where I've got issues. I've got beef with Tion Wayne. I've got beef with the system. It's like, it felt like that was investigative to a point, and then it became like, well, right now I've realized that you're not what you are. I'll hand you off. And then I had 8 weeks of appointments, which actually, ironically, I believe were located in a certain location for a reason. And in that appointment, there was 8 weeks of, I think, assessment of self. But for that person who's been communicating with me, he's not the only one who's been communicating with me, which is obviously a violation. And then for him to have the AV equipment, for him to be an AV technician, when I Googled him, for Mandy to have had her hair different that day. I didn't mean to say anyone's name. Shit. I honestly didn't mean to say anyone's name, this person. Anyway, it felt investigative. And not caring at all. Anyway, no one's going to see this or whatever. 212. But it's a violation for someone to have been, and on the basis that we were going to meet, we didn't. For him to have been an AV technician present at, the same, we were in these like cabins. It's just all, and I understand 100% the purpose, but not in care, not when someone's gone for support, for it to be so intrinsically linked with other issues, for there to have been a presumption, this isn't a pre-crime world that we live in. We don't get assessed before we've done a crime, and we're not innocent until proven guilty. And by the way, no one has challenged me on anything, which is where I've got issue with as well. Come through the fucking door then. It is a farce, the whole thing. And it has been so pervasive and perverse in my life. And then after this sort of, process, and I went to one of these appointments, that was a complete setup and an assessment. They were trying to catch me out. And I just went and told my story in this supposed to be community group, and I ended up doing a website for them. I think they were expecting me to want to charge for this website and how I was going to handle the money. And then there were very often times, and I can link them to other patterns, but also when it felt like there was a need for access to servers. So when I'd set the emails up on a certain server, there were times when I could, and now I can see it because it was linking to the same type of communication from other people at the same time. It was like a desperation to get something to try and hold on to it, and I felt it was a warrant. So I felt there were times when the warrant was coming to an end, even like before midnight on a night. I don't know how they work. I have no idea, but it only ties back to something that happened when I was on holiday, and just before it all went dinging, it was very clear that there was panic when recused myself of something that I should never have been looked into for, and what about, because I was saying about the hacking. Anyway, by the by, 1414. That is a double. I'm done. I'm done though. Didn't look like I got a lot done then, but I did because I wanted to sort this setup up. And I know that U.com is only useful for certain things based on their agents, and I'll set up the sooner stuff, and I spoke a little bit about census. So yeah, all good. Bye.